Hi, I'm Renarta Clanton Moyd. I'm the communications specialist with the Cumberland County Schools and your host of Get Connected. As you know, during this monthly show, we highlight numerous educational topics that face today's student, educator, and parent in the Cumberland County Schools. For years now, the Cumberland County Schools has been dutiful and steady in its quest to be environmentally responsible. From recycling paper to installing LED light fixtures, our school system has done it. So now we can stop saying we're going green. The Cumberland County Schools can proudly say it is green. Now we'll talk with two representatives from the CCS who work closely with sustainability in our school district to see what's being done in our quest to become green on this edition of Get Connected.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Get Connected. Now we're talking with Cumberland County Schools Sustainable Sand Hills Green Schools Coordinator, Gloria Lengel, and Kathy Miller, who is the Director of Operations for the school system. Now we will be discussing Cumberland County Schools' journey to becoming green. Gloria, Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
It's good to be back and talk about our Green Schools program again.
Yeah, that's right. You've been on with us before.
I have.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now this is Gloria's first time.
Right.
Yep.
So should we be easy and gentle with Gloria?
No.
Okay. Well, with that being said, the Go Green initiative has been a part of the Cumberland County Schools for since 2009. What do you think prompted our board to sign the resolution to become green, in that effort to go green? What do you think precipitated that?
I feel like it was partly a financial decision, but also I think it's an environmental and social imperative that they saw was necessary. And it's the way we should be doing business. And they have challenged us to do that.
Good. Now, there are some principles that are related to the Go Green initiative. Right. Talk to us a little bit about those, 5 principles?
There's 5 principles. The first 4 are basically related to the way we operate our school buildings. Recycling and waste reduction is one, pollution control, water conservation and efficiency, energy conservation and efficiency, and the last one, awareness and education, is the most important to me. And that's sort of where Gloria comes in, and she brings that to the table. She was a former educator, and so she does a good job with being able to talk to the teachers and talk to the principals and help us do some behavior change.
That's good. Now, when we talk about behavior change, because that's what it really is, it's behavior change.
Yeah. Right.
How easy, or should I say how difficult, or should I say how easy, let's say how easy, has it been to get people to change their behaviors and see that plastic bottle going in a recycle bin as opposed to the trash can?
It's an ongoing process. We've, as a society, has been, exposed to this for quite a while now, and to actually put it into practice, most people have an idea of what needs to be done. Unfortunately, we have so many other things in the school system that we have to do first, and since it's voluntary, you really have to target those people who are very, very interested in what's going on sustainably, and they are the ones that sort of lead the charge. I think most people that are in the school system, because we've been doing this for a while, are very aware of what they need to be doing. I think most of them would love for us to be to the point where we won't have to think about recycling or trash, that we know where we need to put things. But we also have a society in Cumberland County that is moving in and moving out. I call it a dynamic society because we have so many people flowing in and out, whether it's teachers or students, people who are involved in the sustainability program. So we're really having to, reteach each year. But I think that it's always good to have a refresher, especially when it comes to something that not everybody is up to the same speed with.
That's good. Now, I look at home, my daughter, who's 11, has embraced the recycling. But then there are older family members who tend to just refuse. Why is it so important that we all embrace it?
Well, we're looking at our future. There's a lot of scientific evidence that says that we really need to look at what we're doing to the earth and what we're doing to our atmosphere, and to preserve it for our future, and our future are our kids. I still think that having it out there keeps people understanding that it's not something that's going away. And I think that in a few years, probably when our kids graduate or grandchildren graduate, that we probably will get to a point where we're able to be the way we want us to be right now. And then they're going to probably say, okay, now what's our next step to even getting better, towards sustainability.
I think too, this is the first generation that's really lived in the world. They know what's going on beyond their environment. They're connected, and they recognize the imbalances in the world. They see the social injustices. They understand that the environment is critical to their future. And I think they are willing to go out there, once they learn it, to do something about it. I think that's the difference you see with the children today. They want to learn, and then they want to do it.
And when you mention do it, we're going to talk a little bit later in the program about what a lot of our young people are doing in the schools, really taking some active parts in making sure that we're looking into sustainability and just really following through. Now, Gloria, you're employed with the Cumberland County Schools through Sustainable Sandhills.
That's correct.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about how you support the Cumberland County Schools through your particular role.
Okay. My biggest thing is that I go in looking as a problem solver.
Okay.
We're too busy to sit there and point fingers. And for some people, it's not easy to change habits. But I go in and look at, when I go into schools and we look at what's going on in terms of recycling or, energy conservation, turning the lights off. We're looking at, helping them remember what they need to be doing. Sustainable Sandhills, who is sort of one of my bosses, is a non-governmental organization. It came about as a result of Fort Bragg's sustainability policy. And Fort Bragg knew they can control what's in the auspices of Fort Bragg, but they wanted the input from those counties surrounding them to be supportive of what Fort Bragg is doing. And so that's where Sustainable Sandhills came about. And we serve the counties that serve Fort Bragg, which goes all the way from Harnett County down to Scotland, all the way over to Montgomery County.
Wow.
So they act as an educational and a knowledge resource in terms of all things sustainable. And they've really done very well in helping people to understand that they're more of a educational resource, a balanced voice. You have your advocacies one way or the other, but with Sustainable Sandhills, they've got this idea that you really need to know the pros and the cons. Though we may not like one thing, but it may be more viable So they're a very good resource, like I said, and they've really helped with some of the things that have come into Cumberland County, new businesses and things like that, to make sure that they are good neighbors and sustainable and, you know, are going to protect our water and our air sources.
Yes, and that's so very important.
Right.
So very important. And you know what? What comes to my mind is we have many schools here in the Cumberland County school area who are green certified, green school certified.
Right.
And that's a good thing, because I know the both of you have been working with trying to make sure that certification is there. Talk to us a little bit about tell our audience what does it mean to be green school certified?
Well, you know, we developed a checklist for that early on when we started this program, but the checklist is two-way. We do our part from an operations facility to assist them, and then the schools are responsible for a list of things under each of the 5 principles. And Gloria is actually the one that does that certification, so she can probably talk to that a little bit.
Schools actually are asked to provide a plan. In that plan, they're looking at those 5 principles, and they're saying to themselves, what can we do to become more sustainable, and what are the things in this plan that we can do? What are the strategies for making sure that we're more sustainable, we're conserving our energy and our water in the schools? So everybody has to recycle. You know, our state laws have been shaped for doing that, but actually green certification is the next step after starting, you know, to recycle and that sort of thing. So schools produce a sustainability plan that they should be looking at on a yearly basis, and they revisit to make sure that they're still doing what they need to, and that everybody in the school is up to snuff, so to speak, with what their expectations are in their policy.
Okay.
They provide the policy to me, we look at it, I make sure that the things that they are talking about are implemented, that they are, you know, moving onward with their plan. It's sort of an evolving type of plan. And then they become recognized for their work that they've done.
That's good.
Installing a recycling program, making sure that they have a way of turning off lights. You know, we have the kids involved. The children really buy into it a lot more sometimes than the adults do.
Oh yeah, and that speaks to what you were talking about earlier, Kathy. About how many schools do we have that are certified?
We have almost over 2/3.
Oh, great.
Yeah, 2/3. Well, actually closer to 3/4. Yeah.
Good.
We have over 63 schools that are green certified.
Okay. Well, you know what, ladies? We're going to take a quick break, okay? And then we're going to come back and talk about some more of this going green. All right.
Sounds
all
good.
right.
Thank
Don't
you.
go anywhere. Stick around for more Get Connected.
You can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book can be the first element, helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi. God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Get Connected. Our guests are Cumberland County Schools Sustainable Sandhills Green Schools Coordinator, Gloria Lengel, and Kathy Miller, the Director of Operations for the school system. Now, we're talking about the path the Cumberland County Schools has taken in order to become green. Now, ladies, what we were talking about a little earlier, the green certified schools, and this holistic approach to getting everyone involved and being a part of going green. Well, we were not going green, we are green.
That's right.
Yeah, we're green.
We're green.
We're green. Hey, okay. But now with that, you all have really done a wonderful job, and our schools have as well, in getting our young people involved, because as Kathy, as you mentioned earlier, they truly get it. Talk to us a little bit about what our young people are doing in terms of being green.
The neat thing about the students is they recognize that, why isn't that being recycled? Or, there's a lot of paper here and I know it can be recycled. We have green teams in a lot of the schools, and we have adult green teams as well as students. The student green team is the one that goes around and collects recycling, but they're also students that are in the classroom who can help the teacher, say at the end of the day or when they're going to lunch, to shut off some of the electronics or to make sure the lights are off and make sure that the water faucets are turned off if it's an elementary school. The kids though are very excited about being able to be a part of something very big, and they're always willing to do in terms of the recycling and the energy conservation. And in fact, I have several schools that the teacher goes around with the kids at the beginning of the school year, her green team, and they do an evaluation of the faucets in the bathrooms and the toilets.
Now, what would you be evaluating? Like,
say if there's a broken faucet or if there's one that's dripping.
Okay.
That sort of thing, which is kind of neat because, the kids are being able to evaluate and they can tally their answers, and there are all sorts of adaptations with a curriculum that you can pull into that for the kids to be a part of that bigger picture.
And then we talk about gardening and composting, and Gloria's worked with some schools on that as well, and that's just part of their curriculum, and it can be just incorporated into the Green Schools program just to show them that all of the things we do we should be concerned about the environment.
That's good. I know with the gardening at Ferguson Easley, Carrie Ann McClellan, or I call her Beverly, does a wonderful job with the kids and getting the garden going and that type of thing. I often think, if she had some greens, I might go over there and get some of those. Because I see where they can't eat them. They can't eat them, but they do share them in the community. And that's a good thing.
Some of the good things that have come out of school gardens has been community gardens. A couple of the teachers who have worked with some of the higher risk kids in the summer, when our spring gardens, the squash, the summer gardens are coming in, they will actually go and share some of those within the community for some of our higher risk, nutritionally at-risk kids. That's good. So that, that's really nice. And the fact that when you think about children, we're so regimented in the school, but we also recognize that children need to be outside, and having them outside and digging in the garden and planting and seeing growth and looking at the pollinators that come in is really learning in a really nice environment.
It really is. It really is. I know. My daughter talked about us doing the garden thing this year, and I thought, I love it, but it's a lot of hard work.
It is work.
And you don't realize it until the next morning when you get up and your back is hurting or your knees are hurting and that type of thing. But it is worth it.
You learn to appreciate your food.
You learn to appreciate your food. You really do.
Well, and that local food, it's something that is very important, that we recognize where our food comes from.
Exactly. Now, I know that in recognizing where our food comes from and just in appreciating our earth as a whole, you all had a wonderful Earth Day festival around the 21st, 22nd, something like that, 23rd of April. How did that go?
Well, we had 400 students each day. We had a total of 60 plus teachers that came in, and I had collaborated with a huge number of our partners and sponsors that work in the community, wildlife resources, the parks, soil and water conservation. We had Grange that came out and provided smoothies to the kids.
Yum.
They had little stickers that said, "I tried the smoothie." You know, kids are kind of funny about their food.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
kind of funny.
Kale and banana smoothies, okay?
Ooh, now, you know, if you're able to get someone to eat kale and banana, at least kale,
Right.
then you're doing good.
But we had a rotation, and we had them split into 4 groups, and we had 5 classes that ran about 25 minutes, and then they'd rotate within that one group. So we had a really great time, and we also had them composting their food.
Oh.
So we invited them to eat lunch. They brought their school lunches, and then we also taught them how to compost their school lunches. And that would be, we've taken that up to Brooks up in Goldsboro, which is a composting company.
Okay. So it was a matter of the students taking their leftovers and this, that, and the other to a particular bin of some sort?
Right.
And then it was transported to Goldsboro?
Right. If it was organic, such as, well, anything really, Brooks takes all types of organic waste, and then of course paper. Then they were able to put in the compost bins, and we took it up there.
That's neat. That's
So I was
all right.
trying to make this as much a zero waste, because we also had Cumberland County Cumberland County Solid Waste that brought recycling bins for the other types of recycling that we have, you know, the
Okay.
plastic and metal.
Okay, that's good. Now, why do you all think that programs like these are so important for our young people, so important for our teachers, our educators? Why are they so important?
I think we're looking at the idea of sustainability. You have to break it down into something that's understandable for the kids, and well, understandable for the adults, that this is something that we can reach toward, that's not going to be a huge project. It's just sort of a healthy habit that you get into. I think too that having, being outside and being able to learn outside is a real important part. I have my newsletter, I have No Teacher Left Inside. No, just like no child left inside, trying to prevent nature deficit for all of us. And I told Kathy, I said, I need to do something for us now that, you know, outside for the summer, because it's really important to have them outside and learning.
And Gloria's done a lot of training in the summer with teachers as well, which has been helpful in getting more teachers involved in the green movement.
Okay. And you know what, Kathy, let me ask you something. I know for many years you've worked with dealing with our energy bills and those types of things, and schools receiving incentives because of that. Tell us about that program.
Well, through this program, the energy and water conservation side, we have really done a good job, I feel like. Our utilities have gone up tremendously. Our electric cost per kWh has gone up about 15% in the last 5 years. Fuel oil has gone up over 50%.
Wow.
Water has gone up 31%. Sewer has gone up 23%. So to stay within our $10 million budget, it's difficult. It's a challenge, but we've done it. And we've actually had a cost avoidance in the last 3 years, since we've been really looking at this and focusing on it, of over $2 million. And so that's a benefit to us, and we can use that money. Some of it actually is absorbed because of the increase in cost, but some of it we can use to do some things in our schools, make some building improvements, and also give incentives back to the schools, because we've been doing that for a number of years, where we pay back to those schools that are actually saving a portion of that savings. So that's helped them, and it's also helped us.
Okay. Now, what other initiatives do we have that support our conservation in our schools?
We actually have been challenged to do more, and I believe that we can do more. You know, we're in a tight budget year, and I would rather see us fueling classrooms with resources rather than paying for fuel that's being wasted by not conserving. So we have developed a strategic energy plan. It is going to be somewhat enforced through policy and regulation, board policy. But we are looking at our schools that have high KBTU usage, and we're actually honing in on those and making changes. We're doing a lot of night auditing, a lot of daytime auditing. Our electricians, our plumbers, our energy staff, our HVAC staff, I can't say enough about them because they are really buying into this. They are really going out to these schools. They're finding VAV boxes that are not working, valves that are not working, boilers that their controls are not working. We're doing retro commissioning of buildings, and they're helping with that. They are finding things on a daily basis and bringing it to me. If we can do this, we can save that. Our electricians have replaced a number of light fixtures this spring and summer, and they've actually replacing those light fixtures with LED. And I don't know how much you know about LED lighting, but it is the wave of the future.
Okay.
It is, we can take a 60-watt bulb and replace it with a 9-watt. So you got to see there's savings there.
And have better,
have
better
lighting,
better absorption. The colors.
Color is great.
Great. You know, it's just really a huge difference. And when you look at a meter, the amount of time or the amount of time that goes by is slower when you're using the LEDs.
Okay.
So we're getting better and better with less of the electricity used.
That's good. Well, you know what? I'm so glad we've got two very forward-thinking employees here that are on the go as far as helping us to continue to be sustainable and do what we need to do in terms of, conserving and those types of things, recycling. So thank you all for what you do.
Well, thank you for having us here.
All right. And I usually say I'm looking at the clock on the wall, but I won't say that. I think you all could tell it's about time for us to wind down. But thank you all again for joining us, and we'll have to have you back, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Well, on behalf of the Cumberland County School System, we want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of our show and for giving us a chance to help you get connected. Until next time.